This is the Ask Faleskini podcast, where the modern economy is discussed from a skeptic's perspective. Mr. Faleskini helps you distinguish what is sustainable in our economy and what isn't. Not everything that glitters is gold, and not all mud is dirty. The podcaster Mr. Faleskini provides no-nonsense advice. He had it all, lost it all, went bankrupt multiple times, and is now attempting to come back from zero with sustainable growth. There are numerous coaches and preachers on the internet that preach about positive thinking and how life is all roses if you just care to see it that way. Well, Mr. Faleskini is definitely not one of them. We recommend you ask Faleskini to keep it real. He discusses the darker side of the current economic reality, the side that's more important for your personal and business finance. His first intention is to help you keep what you already have. Not to be a complete party pooper, Mr. Faleskini will also hint at the earning opportunities in the economy today. In order to please the almighty algorithm, please like, share, and subscribe. And now it's time to start taking notes. The mic goes to the podcaster, the one and only Mr. Faleskini.
Thank you, Taylor. I was reading a post on LinkedIn where someone claimed working from home is a logistical nightmare. And while typing my comment, I got the idea for this podcast. Let's get right into the theory. I will start the theory with the definitions I found on the internet. What is working from home? Working from home is the term used to describe an employee who performs their role from home instead of in an office environment. How is working from home different from the remote work? While there are many similarities between remote work and work from home jobs, there are also a few key differences. Working from home refers exclusively to the act of an employee working from their home in a home office setup. Remote work means a role that can be performed anywhere in the world. Most common jobs performed in a home environment are bookkeeper, accountant, content writer, web developer, online tutor, translator, and virtual assistant. The key benefits of working from home for employers are reduced overhead costs because they don't need to pay for the offices, improved trust because employees feel that employer trusts them more because they can do their work at home, bigger talent pool because people tend to take a job even if the company that they're working for is far away, if they can perform it from home. Then you have better business reputation. Companies that offer work at home have better reputation than companies that demand work in an office. Reduced absence. People tend to have less absence if they work from home. And of course, increased concentration, whereas deadlines approach and similar, people tend to put more work hours in their work if they work from home. As a general rule, communication is the most important factor when working from home. Getting in touch with an employee in a home office is essential for productivity and trust. The following factors that I will present now are also worth considering when executing the work from home strategy. You have to have morning briefings, a quick morning Zoom meeting that everyone that works in a team is part of. Basically, they touch base so they see what they have to do for a day and report if they have any problems doing a task that was assigned to them. There needs to be a clear and visible schedule for them so that the employee understands their deadlines. And of course, really important is that employees have feedback. So status update of their project, of deadlines and the plans reached is really important. Enough of the definitions, let's check a bit of a history. If we believe scientists that life started in the ocean was our evolutionary forefathers' home, and we all worked from home. Regardless of our belief that man was put on earth by the God Almighty or that in millennia we stopped our vacation in the ocean and come to the shore and develop into humans. It all started with hunting, so you had to travel for work. The worse region you lived in, the more you had to travel to hunt. As a species developed from hunters into farmers, farming demanded to be more at home, but you had to go out on the fields. Fields are usually in the vicinity of the home. Most trivial production was done at home until industrialization demanded people to go where big machines are placed for complex production processes. Until recently, it was generally accepted it's a feminine characteristic to stay at home. Guys travel and hunt for food, so it's a man thing to go to work. The further from home, the better if they make more money. Enough of the history, let me present the pitfalls of working at home. As always, there's also a darker side to this new concept, work from home. If I have listed many benefits, there is also a shady human side that is not respectful and it's prone to cheating if not supervised and adequately motivated. In fine words of political correctness, human beings are prone to optimize their energy distribution. In other words, humans are lazy as their main mission is energy optimization. Organizations and companies are living organisms, and they have their own environment we call a working environment. Although the working environment is not necessarily a physical environment, it has its impact on individual performance in both ways. Organizations tend to have a specific set of environments that can be used to motivate and engage employees, which cannot be replaced by working from home. The main disadvantage of home working is the lack of non-formal communication, which is actually the best lubricant for a positive working climate. Consistency and punctuality are also dimensions that need to be extra addressed. When an individual is performing in a group, he has intrinsic nudge to perform better. When being isolated, this intrinsic motivational factor vanishes and it cannot be substituted. The most important issue is the work-life balance, which cannot be efficiently handled if there is no strict supervision. Few people possess that intrinsic motivation and discipline to respect their own time or, even more important, their energy. I believe you heard enough of the theory for one episode. Let me now present my experience with work at home. I worked on the go for most of my life. Only in 2015 I started to practice work from home. Most of my properties have dedicated office building or dedicated library that I can use as an office. For me, working from home was always easy. Since I'm a member of 5 a.m. club, I'm disciplined and focused. The only thing that was hard for me when working at home is to stop at a certain hour, and I worked all the time because I worked from home. So that led into a couple of burnouts when working on a major projects. Recently, I have perfected a mix of mental and physical activities and a mix of activity and inactivity during the day. My personal experiences led me to believe that working from home is a perfect solution for everyone. And yes, I was wrong. Oh boy, was I wrong. It cost me literally millions before I realized that working from home is not a perfect solution for every service industry. Namely, some people do not have a home with an extra room they can use for the office. It didn't occur to me that people living in a small apartment that they share, they don't have any free space that they can use as an office. Some people are bossed around or even abused by their spouses, by their children, or by their pets. Some people lack the discipline. Other people lack organization. Some people lack guidance. And there is also a technical problem I never thought about. Internet access. Even in 2022, not everyone has an internet access good enough for more demanding operation like graphics designs in cloud and similar. Some people become depressed since nobody openly admires their work and motivation drops considerably. Some people depend on food provided in the cafeteria in the office. So when they're at home, they don't have proper food. Some people literally need an excuse to leave home and the office is their safe space. My experience is that the biggest problem with working at home are the salespeople. If they did not compete and discuss their success. During the day, in informal communication, they would miss their target by a wide margin. So the motivation for salespeople drops considerably if they work from home instead from the office. Although I've presented most of pitfalls or problems I had with working at home, I would like to continue with opportunities that work from home offers to employers and employees, and let's get right to it. Even if I've discussed a lot of threats that work from home poses to employers, and even if I've discussed my negative experiences with work from home, I would like to hint at the opportunities that work from home offers to business people. I would propose business people to try utilizing work from home as part of their optimization of processes, as part of productivity booster, as part of lowering environmental impact, namely less building is needed, less energy for heating and cooling is needed, and less pollution due to transportation to and from work. I would also suggest to try to utilize work from home as a strategy to lower costs. And I think the most famous right now is the work from home as a human resource management strategy to attract more talent, even part-time, from all over the world that can benefit your company in the long run. And of course, work from home will also help you grow and expand faster because you will be able to hire people faster and you will not need additional investment in the infrastructure. For the consultants, I would propose that you help employers test employees for discipline, focus, comprehensions of order, and similar. The idea is that you help the employer understand if the employee is fit to work from home. I would also suggest that you help companies prepare a comparison analysis between work from the office and work from home. And of course, last but not least, companies will need help from consultants to adjust their company's culture and values to work from home. And now, let me conclude. Let me finish this episode by answering the question from the title. Is working from home more efficient than working in the office? The answer is, if your employees are adequate, have all the infrastructure they need, namely spare room for the office, good internet connections if they're well disciplined, and if your processes are adapted to work from home, then yes, the work from home is more efficient than working in the office. If that is not the case and your employees don't have the infrastructure at home that they need for the home office, then your work at home experience will not be pleasant. I do strongly recommend that every company explores the potential of working from home because this should help them optimize processes, boosting productivity, lowering expenses, and lowering the environmental impact. So if you are ready, go for the work from home. If you're not ready, then first change business processes, optimize them, and only then start introducing work from home. And back to Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Faleskini, for this outstanding podcast. And thank you for listening to the Ask Faleskini podcast until the end. Mr. Faleskini would love to hear your feedback in the comments. And don't forget, if you want to know, ask Faleskini or listen to the Ask Faleskini podcast. In order to please the almighty algorithm, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.